What should a person who has money and no time to arrange a personal life do? Contact a marriage agency. Looking for a bride through friends. New Russians found a new way to marry. Among wealthy bachelors, the fashion for hired wives has spread. Just like a secretary, a chauffeur, a cook, a wife is paid for. Signature in the contract, and a safe unit of society is ready. Such families are being created in Moscow more and more often. Just few know about them. Hired wives and their employers do not advertise the details of their relationship. We managed to persuade one of these wives to tell her story. All events here are genuine. We only changed the names of the heroes. Julia was dying of boredom. All presentations are the same. What to take to the room? Report on how a dozen rich people praised each other in chorus, and then had fun at a buffet table. She once again yawned. Jenna the photographer nudged him. Julia, you'd better look around. So many rich men, and you yawn? With your data, you are missing your chance. What a chance, Jenna? To become a servant? Well, no. I'm used to making money myself. The man at the next table listened to their conversation and looked with interest in Yulena's direction. Judging by the costume, one of those smug peacocks looks surprisingly like a product. Julia turned away and said in annoyance, Jenna, go to work. Won the star with a businessman hugs. Something must be handed over to the editor. Jenna reluctantly got up from the chair and walked towards the stage. Sorry, said an unfamiliar voice. Julia raised her head. The one who looked at her. Will you let me sit down? He asked politely. My name is Vladimir, the Orion firm. Very nice. Julia smiled on duty. Yulia Larionova, a journalist. I know, he interrupted. I like the way you write. Do you want to order advertising? Yolka got interested. No, I have another business proposal for you. I want you to be my wife. Julia left the presentation completely surprised. This Jean is definitely a nutcase. Suggested to become wife. Under contract. You see, he has the sad experience of 2 marriages. And he wants everything to be under an employment contract. The contract wife must look brilliant, be able to support a conversation in society, lead a house and create a home atmosphere. About sex, Julia said, was not to worry. Vladimir explained that he would always find a girl for the night. It's harder with the warmth. I know, he interrupted. I like the way you write. Do you want to order advertising? Yolka got interested. Julia did not know what to think. Tarasov looks quite normal. About 35, tall. Well-groomed brunette, her type. Judging by the conversation, he is brilliantly educated and intelligent. Rich? Why, he decided he couldn't have a normal family. Julia thought for a long time. Somehow this eccentric hooked her. Something inside did not allow to refuse. As a result, Yulia decided that it was something simple self-interest. The salary that the businessman offered for the services of his wife surpassed Yolkina by almost 10 once, and she, after hesitating a little, agreed. In the end, the contract can be broken in any minute. 5. So Julia turned from a successful journalist into a hired wife. I told my parents and friends that she got a job as a secretary in a commercial company. And since the office is out of town, I had to move in a specially rented apartment. The businessman's wife's day began very early. Accustomed to lying around until 11, Yolka is now. Woke up at 6:30 and cooked breakfast for her husband in a 2-story luxury mansion on where Vladimir lived. Of course, there was a servant, but the owner did not like to leave her for the night. because in the morning the mistress had to bother. Then the husband left for work, and the wife took care of the house and yourself. Julia was surprised to find that the life of the wife of a new Russian is not so good and free. It was necessary to cope with the servants, control purchases and expenses, monitor personal plot. In addition, the daily trips to beauty salons and fitness centers. The obligation to look good was a burden. I really wanted to relax and at least one day not to visit a hairdresser, beautician and masser. Just put on an old t-shirt. Lie with a book and chips in front of the TV, but I couldn't relax, the day was busy. To the limit. Vladimir Alexeyevich insisted on raising the cultural level of his wife. And Julia went to expensive seminars, where she was taught to make ikebana, then to do Thai massage, then to comprehend secrets of male psychology. And in the evening it was necessary to happily twitter with husband. The character of Vladimir was not sugar. He constantly reminded Yolka that he was paying her, rarely thanked and demanded that while the wife looked with loving eyes. She scolded herself for what the world was worth, and every evening she was going to quit tomorrow. But tomorrow, at 6 in the evening she again stood at the stove. 2 months have passed. Julia has become much prettier. Affected sports activities and stylist efforts. She turned into a real socialite. There with husband. Began to go out, go to receptions, theaters, presentations. The owner's young wife, Orion, has been spotted. Men began to show signs of attention, women whispered enviously for back. Yulina's photos even ended up in the gossip. She was named in the list of the most elegant women of the capital. And she was terribly afraid that one of her acquaintances would recognize her in the photo. The owner's young wife, Orion, has been spotted. Men began to show signs of attention, women whispered enviously for back. Yulina's photos even ended up in the gossip. She was named in the list of the most elegant women of the capital. And she was terribly afraid that one of her acquaintances would recognize her in the photo. Once Vladimir called and said that he would not come to spend the night. Unexpectedly for herself, Julia came to rage and barely restrained herself so as not to be rude to the unfaithful husband. She just has no place for herself. Found, imagining how he was having fun with some long-legged blonde. She's all night. Did not sleep. And by morning I realized with horror that she was in love. And when did she manage? 9. How is it possible? Fall in love with this idol. But the fact remained. What she mistook for self-interest in the beginning. Their relationship was a sympathy that gradually grew into love. Now work has become torture. Vladimir remained impeccably polite and cold. He kissed her on the cheek goodnight and went into his bedroom. She's just an employee, but not female. It was beyond Yolka's strength to quit. She just couldn't imagine how she would live without his Tarasov. She jumped up at 5 in the morning to have time to make a delicious breakfast. It put on the best dresses, looked like on the catwalk at home, waited for him until midnight. He noticed change, and added a salary. Julia lost weight and began to sleep poorly. Shadows lay under my eyes. One evening when Vladimir returned from work later than usual, she could not hide her mood. Glancing at the wife, he asked dryly, "Are you upset?" "Sorry," she bit her lip, "I know the contract prohibits." He came close to her and took her by the shoulders, looking into her eyes. "She can't do it anymore." Pulled back, burst into tears. "I cannot do it anymore. I cannot. I don't want this anymore. I'm breaking this terrible contract." Well, he pulled away coldly. Tomorrow you will receive a settlement. You can find out that you are not suited. Fool. You are a blind idiot. Hate you. Julia shouted, rushing at him with her fists. I can't see you. Finally. He exhaled with relief, tightly hugging Julia. How I was waiting for these words. Julia was taken aback and froze with her mouth open. I love you too, my dear. Vladimir smiled, kissing her gently. And I want you to become my wife. Now it's real. Agree?